so wild. The wives could be killing each other in the other room and they're drinking and toasting to each other. And it's like, what?
Danielle, I absolutely love you on the show. I feel like you are such a great fit. It's always interesting because you never know how new housewives are going to fit into the mix, if it feels strange or not. And I feel like you fit in perfectly. I mean, what was this transition like for you? And how are you feeling going into the season? Are you anxious? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you all of the above?
All of the things. And I think why I come into the show so like it's easy is because I had no preconceived notions about anybody. I came in wanting to build friendships with everybody. And I think that starts off on a good, clean slate, right? When I don't come in like, I know this about you, I know that. Just, hey, I'm Danielle. Let's get to know each other.
Uh-huh. Definitely. No, and I think it does. It seems like so seamless. I mean, were you ever hesitant at all about joining the show? Because obviously you see how friendships can kind of crumble. Families kind of have some hard times once they go onto reality TV. Was that ever a hesitation for you at all?
Yeah, I think anybody, if you're a normal person coming into this situation, those thoughts 100% cross your mind. For my family, we had like so many talks. I was like, do you want to do it? Should we do it? Because you think of the worst, right? You want to protect everybody. But I'm like, there's no way it could be bad. We're going to go on and bring the fun. And, I went in so innocently, like excited to be a part of this. So yeah, I had those thoughts, but once you make the decision, you're in it.
Totally. Like once the season was over, were you like, oh my God, what did I get myself into?
I think I slept for a week straight. Because it was a lot. It was totally a lot, but it was also like mentally, and then I have 2 kids. Right. So on top of all the filming and all that stuff, emotionally, it took a toll. It was a lot.
Totally. Who did you instantly click with? Like, and who was like the most welcoming and who was like maybe a little least welcoming, I guess?
So, I have a friendship already with Teresa. Sure. So that was odd. But instantly, I vibed so well with Jen Aiden because she just was like, hey, Jen's got this bubbly personality where, you go into these situations. Like I said, I really didn't know the women at all. So when you meet somebody new, like your first impression, you're like, I want them to like you. I want them to like me. Mm-hmm. And with Jen, she was just like, hey girl. And I'm like, okay, I like her. She was easy to get along with. Mm-hmm. But there really wasn't anybody that gave me a cold shoulder in the beginning. Everybody was really welcoming. So which was really nice.
That is good. Had you watched the show before this? Were you a big Housewives of New Jersey fan?
So the beginning seasons, my jam. Like Teresa, the beginning, amazing. Mm-hmm. Of course, I was like a huge fan of watching her with the kids. Then life happened. I had my kids. I kind of like died out for a little bit. And then once we were kind of getting involved in the world again, I picked up the previous season, and just to kind of know what I was getting myself into. But of course, the franchise, right? Of course, what you're coming into. It's like a part of pop culture history. Mm-hmm. So I had to take that aspect out of it because then you just get so much anxiety. I wanted to go into these like luncheons and meeting with everybody just as like a person and not like just the housewives, because it takes the genuine friendships. It just changes it a little bit.
No, definitely. Did Teresa give you any advice going into the show?
Yes. So and she was awesome about this because I said, listen, I'm your friend. I have your back, but I have to go in wanting to build friendships with everybody. Mm-hmm. If not, then it's off the bat, it's negativity. And I didn't want that. Mm-hmm. So she's like, I love that. I got your back with that. You make your own decisions. I'm just going to say, be careful. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Everybody's so nice. She's like, trust me, just be careful.
Yeah.
And she gave me some good advice.
Did she tell you who to be careful of?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Just make your own decisions. You'll see for yourself. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted people to either sink or swim with me.
Sure.
And I based my reactions on them and what I thought on how they treated me.
Sure.
And
So,
you'll have it all planned out.
so who did sink and swim with you?
I'm not telling you that.
Well, obviously you are friends with Teresa, and Teresa and Melissa had some issues. They've had some issues for years, but especially coming off of the last season. So did you feel like you were ever kind of caught in between? Because I believe I read that you have some issues with your family or brother, and you wanted to kind of maybe mediate that situation and hopefully put them back together. So was that hard for you at all?
It was very hard because I was living through them kind of what I was experiencing, but I felt like I could be a mediator. Mm-hmm. And my goal was to try to say like, hey, your sister loves you. Hey, your brother loves you. Let's fix this. I really, really wanted that to happen. I obviously didn't really know some of the history, but the full extent and stuff, because at the end of the day, I still see just two siblings that love each other and just stuff happen and it's sad, so I thought I could help. I tried to help.
Knowing what you know now and after living this season, do you think that they can get to some sort of reconciliation, or do you think that ship has sailed?
You know what, when it comes to like your family, like I'm speaking because I'm a sister, right? You always hope. Mm-hmm. You always hope. But at some point you have to protect yourself. At some point you need to protect your own heart. And if that is causing you pain, which trickles down into being the best wife you can be, the best mother you can be to your family, you got to remove yourself and take a breather. And I hope that's what they both do. And you never know. Yeah.
Do you have a side? Did you take a side in this argument or disagreement?
You know what? I never really did. I'm here to listen to Teresa, obviously. She tells me everything. And when I talk to Teresa, it's a lot of hurt and pain. And what's funny, it doesn't usually always come out like that on the show and what we film, right? Because you see like anger, but there's pain underlying in there. So I never want to take a side because there's two sides that are hurting, and everybody's right, has their right to their own feelings.
Definitely. Well, hopefully there is some sort of reconciliation in the future. You are not the only new housewife this season. We also have Rachel. Jen is also there as a friend. Did the three of you form an alliance at all since you were kind of the newbies?
So we went into it really great. Mm-hmm. We went into it like, okay, here we are, these three new chicks on the block. We were there for each other in the beginning, kind of navigating everything because you're walking into something that's already established. These women have friendships that are established. And here we are. Mm-hmm. And we kind of gravitated and clung to each other a little bit, helped each other out. I know I gave pep talks to Jen and to Rachel. So, we went into it good.
How'd you come out of it?
You'll see. You'll see. You'll see.
Not so good. Who else? I mean, were you like you said, you kind of caught up on the show last season. So was there anybody that you were maybe a little hesitant of getting to know after watching last season and knowing what you know from Teresa?
Well, from watching the last season, I thought going into it, right? I'm like, oh, Melissa's fun. I could probably get along with Melissa. Joe is fun. He kind of speaks my language, the fun. Funny enough, I went into it thinking that I was going to have a hard time connecting with Bill Aiden. I'm like, I don't know. Like he's so like professional, doctor, this and that, but he could not be more opposite. Funny. He is just, oh my God, he was so much fun. We had great conversations. He surprised me the most. Mm-hmm. With Margaret, I knew like, navigate these waters wisely. Yeah. But no one really shocked me right off the bat. Okay. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good thing. I mean, how did your husband kind of fit in with the New Jersey house husbands? Because they are just as a fun group that people love watching them so much. So were they welcoming to him as well?
100%. My husband, he's very good friends. He talks to Paulie, he talks to Louis every single day. He fit right in there. Nate is he's the greatest guy, and I can't wait for everybody to meet him. And he just fit right in. Great comedy. Guys are so different.
They are so different.
It's so wild. The wives could be killing each other in the other room, and they're drinking and toasting to each other. And it's like, they're so simple.
They really are. They really are. What was it like meeting Dolores and, getting to see her new boyfriend? And what did you think of her dynamic with Frank as well?
So Dolores, actually, I feel like out of everybody, speaks my language the most. Like, we just speak the same language. And Paulie, I love him. He's the best. They're a great fit. I can't wait for everybody to see how their relationship, plays itself out. They're just two really nice people. I love them.
How did your friendship with Teresa change over the course of the season, if at all?
It got closer. In the beginning, it was helping me navigate, trying to, she's trying to tell me everything in such a short amount of time. Because now I'm in not just her friendship world, I'm in her world. And she wanted to tell me as much as possible. And now it's just, I'm there for her. Like, we talk all the time. I think me and Teresa talked the most because a lot of the stuff that we talked about with the girls affected us. And we just can't turn that off. You hang out with them in the afternoon, you can't turn that off when you go home.
Right.
And we were there for each other in different ways. It's a different friendship now, and it's a better one.
Nice. Were you at the wedding? And what was that like?
I was at the wedding. She had flamethrowers. I mean, acrobats. She had a Marilyn, I don't even know what you call, burlesque dancer. It was beautiful. And all I can say is, when those doors opened, I know her hair is like a big iconic thing. When those doors opened, you went, like, she just took your breath away, because it was so Teresa. It was, and you want to cheer for her.
Definitely.
So whatever, big hair, crown, whatever. At the end of that altar was a guy who loves her, and that's what she deserves. And that's what that whole night was about.
Definitely. Do you feel if she asked Melissa to be in the bridal party that maybe a lot of this drama could have been avoided?
That's a good question, because there's two sides to that story. There's two sides to that. Yeah. I mean, I had that conversation, like, I just ask her.
Right.
But then there's also stuff that you and I don't understand that caused her to feel a certain way, right? So it's like, if you want to say, just do the right thing, but at the same time, she's like, you don't know how I feel inside. So why do I have to do all these things for other people? Unfortunately, in Teresa's world, when she does something like that, it's everywhere. It's blown up, but you can't make that decision for someone. It's her feelings.
Right. How is Jackie to the new girls? Because obviously, she was a full-time housewife last season, is a friend of this season. So how was she welcoming to you? Did the three of you have any words at all?
Well, she said hi the first day, and then I'm going to leave it at that. You have to watch.
We'll have to wait. All right,
you know what? She was my Staten Island girl. We came from the same place, so I thought it was going to be a good time, but you'll have to see how that plays out.
Not so much.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below, and visit usmagazine.com.